welcome to WKIM, and I am your host, Marcia Jews. We are so excited to be here tonight. Thank you all for joining us. We've got a big show coming up, and I'm telling you, we have some wonderful folks who are doing incredible work that we would like to introduce. And our first guest will be Lashelle Stewart. Lashelle, come on and start. Let's get started. And you tell us all about yourself and all the wonderful things that you're doing.
Hi, Marcia. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, thanks. My name is Lashelle Stewart. I'm the current executive director for Baltimore Healthy Start. I've been with the organization for 10 years, actually since 2015. Baltimore Healthy Start is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that operates in Baltimore City. Our mission is to reduce infant and maternal deaths. We serve about 1,000 people in Baltimore each year, covering 38 census tracts, and we provide comprehensive case management, care coordination, and services to pregnant and recently postpartum women.
So, Lashelle, what got you involved in this program? This is huge. You're changing people's lives. How did you get involved?
I've been in the field for about 30 years now, but I've always heard of Baltimore Healthy Start and the great work that they do. And I love it. I'm from Baltimore, and I want moms in Baltimore to experience the same thing that I experienced growing up in Baltimore, the community, the support. I want families to know that you don't have to be rich in dollars to be rich in life. And so working at Healthy Start was the perfect opportunity for me to help move that forward for my city.
So when you look at Baltimore Healthy Start, what are 3 important things that you noticed? Did you start this originally, or did you come into the position?
Actually, the organization has been around since 1991. I came on as a deputy director in 2015 and became the executive director in 2017. Baltimore Healthy Start has a big reputation for being boots on the ground. They hire from the community for community health workers that serve the moms that we work with. So they have a great reputation. They're known. We've served generations of Baltimoreans at this point, and making sure that moms and babies are safe, are healthy, have what they need to have great pregnancy outcomes.
How do you identify the community members to have them work with you?
Some people have actually had problems with birthing themselves and heard about the organization. Some of the people were our former clients, and we do hire former clients because they're the best representatives of the work that we do, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, they're from the communities that we serve. So most of our staff started out from the community that they're serving in.
Mm-hmm. So when we talk about how you identify people, do you go to churches or other community organizations? How do you identify people who are in need of your support?
We have something that's unique to Baltimore Healthy Start, as far as I'm concerned, and I've been in the field about 30 years, but I never worked for an organization that had people who actually canvass the neighborhoods, knocking on doors, looking for pregnant women. And our recruiters have been in the neighborhoods for so long, people will point people out. They'll say, like, Miss Sheila, such and such down at 900 is pregnant. You need to go down and talk to her. And so most of our families come to Baltimore Healthy Start through the canvassing, through the recruitment, through word of mouth. But we also work with Be More for Healthy Babies, and we receive referrals from Healthcare Access Maryland. When women go into the clinic and they're pregnant, they get what's called a pregnancy risk assessment, and then they're referred that way as well.
That's huge. Let's go back on that one again. So are these people who are really not in an environment where they have the doctors available, or how they can navigate being pregnant? Because pregnant has a lot of different levels to it, pregnancy.
Absolutely.
And how can we just talk about that and how the connection works? And in many cases, some of these young people aren't ready to open up the door and have a conversation, right? How do you navigate that as well?
Right. Um, so we serve in what are called the most at-risk neighborhoods in Baltimore City. And so we feel that if you live in that neighborhood, then you are at risk. So we don't have like any qualifiers that make people eligible. If you live in the neighborhoods we serve, then you're eligible for our program. And we meet people where they are. We recognize that people may not be at that very moment ready to engage. And so we leave an open door. We'll give our information. We'll let them know that we're there to help. It is not a mandatory program. It's voluntary to participate. And we meet people where they are. The needs that they present at that time is what we're there to help with. And surprisingly, people participate. I have seen one of our recruiters roll up on someone at a bus stop. And for me, I may not have given her my information, but the young ladies give them their information. And so for that, I'm in awe and I'm appreciative and I'm glad that we're able to help.
Mm-hmm. And that's huge. Too often young people don't have help, or they're too afraid to talk to their parents about what they're going through. How does your organization navigate with parents who may not be accustomed to developing relationships in our communities?
Well, our organization is open to the whole family. So we don't just serve that one individual. We are family focused. We know that having a healthy pregnancy is not just dependent on the person who is pregnant. It's dependent on her partner.
Okay.
It's dependent on the mom. It's dependent on the grandmom. Anyone who influences that community, we engage them and they're welcome to participate in anything that we have so that they can support that mom, because the number one goal is a healthy mom, a healthy baby, a baby who makes it to their first birthday and beyond, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's huge. I think 100 years ago, I was pregnant, married with a daughter, right? And then I had this child and I didn't know what the heck I was supposed to do. Like, okay, now what, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with the now what's to all the folks who are going through the pregnancies and having your organization to have an organization around you to be able to help? This is really huge, Lashelle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, how did you get involved in this? Go ahead.
We have what are called community health workers, and they do home visits to the moms. And so they're checking not only for physical health, but they're checking for environmental, social determinants of health and figuring out how can we help that mom? What's missing? What do they need in order to make their pregnancy healthy and also make their lives better? Because if your life is better, your pregnancy is going to be healthy. And so we just address the full person, even though the goal is maternal health and infant health, the full person. You can't have any of those things unless you have a full person. So that housing, we have a program that assists with safe and affordable housing. We do groups like parenting, like breastfeeding education, prenatal support. We do fatherhood groups. We do so many things. We do seasonal health groups. Anything we can think of that's going to help families. We have emergency diapers. We have emergency formula. Anything that we can think of that will help families, we try to add.
That's wonderful. I remember being pregnant and married, and I didn't think I could do it being married with people, and in Detroit at that time, there were family kind of members. What happens when we don't have that circle of influence to help young people or middle age who are having children? How do they reach you and how do they go through a program to really understand this whole thing about being pregnant is a lot, and if you don't have the infrastructure such as yourself, your organization, to be able to help these young people or old people too, grown folks that are having babies and don't know what to do with that pregnancy. Now what? Right? How am I supposed to be functioning? Can we talk about that a little bit, if you don't mind?
Sure. We try to be as visible as possible so that people know that the services exist. So we're out at community events. We are engaging that block captain or that person in the community who knows everyone. We are on shows like yourself so that people can get the information about who we are and spread the word about the work that we're doing. Everything that we do for families is totally free. in the city. We also, I didn't mention, we have a food pantry that's open to not only our moms, but anyone in the community. And so we really try to get immersed in the community so that they know who we are and what we do, so that they can let the moms know that, hey, these folks are okay, and they're here to help you. And, this is what we need, because so many of us know someone, or we may be that person who lost a baby, and we don't talk about it enough in our community, but it happens so much in our communities. And so it needs to be known, it needs to be addressed, and we need to have those supports in place to help moms.
We really do. I know just me being pregnant, and that was 100 years ago. My daughter's over 50 now, but you sit down and you look at this, and at that time I was in Indiana, and people weren't talking about getting outreach and having that whole kind of thing. And I'm just grateful that I had a couple of aunts that their children were already grown. I was younger, and they stepped in. My Aunt Verge and my Aunt Helen, they just stepped in, and my mother didn't know what the heck, right? So they just became that surrogate, those two surrogates for them. And it was really huge. Now, we're talking about back in the 50s when this was happening, right? And so now we have a lot more services available. How do we do research in these communities to make certain that they are close enough where people can tap into these services, which is huge. It's absolutely huge. What can you recommend? I mean, we've got some people, young people who are in high school who are getting pregnant. How do we deal with some of those issues where there may not be enough support systems in the household?
Yeah, and we try to create that community that once existed, that's not, back in the day, multi generations might have lived in the same household, and now people are so singular. And so we try to create, even through our Belly Buddies group, which brings people together around the same gestational time and pregnancy, to create that community that once existed, so that people have those levels of support. There is in Baltimore a line called 211 that people can reach out to regarding whatever type of service they need. Give their zip code. It allows them to find resources that are local to them that they can walk to and address whatever needs they may have. I know Baltimore Healthy Start is listed on that line. So if they need help while they're pregnant or recently postpartum, they could certainly get referred to us. And then other resources as well that are in walking distance. The person just needs to call in and put in their zip code. Same thing with Baltimore Healthy Start. If they need prenatal or postpartum services, but they're not in our service area, if they reach out to us, we are able to connect them to the home visiting program or the service in the area that's designated for their specific neighborhood.
And, I think sometimes a lot of the families are insecure about how to deal with organizations and some hospitals where they think they can go and get help, but they're not being received well, right? Well, I'm sure you all already figured all this out. This is all part of your programming. Can we just talk about people who are out there that need help but are afraid to make the steps or to make the phone call? Because that's part of it, just the fear of the unknown.
Sure. Well, our community health workers are there to assist moms. We also, for moms who are enrolled in our program, we have what's called the Parent Leadership Group. And through that group, we are training moms to have a voice for themselves, their families, and their communities, so that they feel empowered when they're sitting at the table, and they don't feel small to doctors, to lawyers, to whomever, because you are the expert on yourself and you are important as well. And so we give them public speaking training. We give them advocacy training. We give them all of that training so that they feel the importance that they already have within themselves. And so they're able to advocate for themselves, their families, and their communities.
And that's powerful. You have to have a voice. You really do. And I grew up in South Bend, Indiana, 100 years ago, right? We're talking about in the 50s and early 60s. But, back then, we didn't even talk about sex, let alone have a baby, right? If you did whatever you were doing, didn't nobody know. We didn't talk about it. We just didn't talk about it. And that fear of not having a person or organization to help, what you all are doing is huge.
Mhm.
People need to be in a safe space,
Safe
right, to
space.
deal with what they're doing, because some parents don't want to deal with an extra child coming in because a little girl decides that, oh my goodness, I made a mistake, but oh, here we are with a son, and what are we going to do? And so you talked about that, but is there a mental health issue that we need to be thinking about too as well?
Yeah, so with moms in our program, we do 3 different depression screenings because postpartum depression is prevalent once women have babies. Sometimes it goes unnoticed or unchecked. But we do different depression screenings. We do the Zung, we do the Edinburgh, and we do the PQ2. And so those are 3 different tools that we use throughout the course of the time that women are in our program to monitor for depression. We also do ask other questions about mental health, and we partner closely with mental health organizations in the area so that we can do referrals, so that we can make sure that our moms are getting their needs addressed. Transformation Health is one of our major partners that we refer to for mental health concerns, but we do take that into consideration. We are very mindful, and we do monitor that because we know that there's a stigma around it as well, and we try to destigmatize it,
Yeah.
because health is health. I mean, we wouldn't be ashamed of our heart health, so we shouldn't be ashamed of our mental health. Health is health, and that's just it.
And that's real. That I
Mhm.
went through a divorce. That was 100 years ago, before the hair was white. And that person created an environment for me when I was pregnant, and I didn't know how to talk, because everything was so monumental. That
Mhm.
was literally 100 years ago. But how do we how do we help them knock down those walls
Mhm.
so that they can be at peace, because it's a lot. And if you don't have an infrastructure, then we're now dealing with mental health issues that we've got to deal with.
Absolutely. Well, one of I think the most powerful things that we do is engage the dads as well, because a woman is not pregnant on her own, right? So whether
Well,
the mom and dad, so whether the mom and dad are together or not, we invite the dads to participate. We have a fatherhood engagement specialist who um, who also works specifically with the dads. So we're teaching him about bonding. We're teaching them about relationships. We're teaching them about what the mom is going through during that pregnancy, and so we're trying to add that support there, add those missing pieces so that mom has that support from the mate, or like I said, even if they're not together, the father, so he understands what is happening with his family at that time. He knows how to relate to his unborn child or his newly born child, as well as the mother of his child also.
so with your program, is it a type of program where it's only outreach, or do you have a facility where people can come in and have conversations? Can you talk about that?
Sure. We do have the outreach with the home visitors. We also have nurses that go out to the homes as well. But we do have our headquarters, which is at 610 North Chester Street. And in that building, we host groups. We host our breastfeeding education and support. We have our housing university where moms are learning about their rights as tenants. They're learning about credit,
Oh,
budgeting, those types of things. We also have our Belly Buddies prenatal stress reduction group, which is stress reduction techniques for pregnant women and also childbirth education in that group. We have a mama circle, which happens postpartumly, where women can come together and get support as well. And we do have parenting classes on site We do have a food pantry, which I mentioned, and we have what's called the Healthy Start store, where people can come in. They earn bucks for healthy behaviors like going to the doctors, taking the babies to the doctors, and they can use those bucks to shop in the store to buy things like diapers and stuff that they might need.
I love it. So, do you see a lot of fathers involved in a lot of your programming? Has it been difficult in getting them on board, or how does that work?
Surprisingly, we do see dads get involved. And a lot of times they say that there's always services for women, but there's never services for men. So it's
Mm,
like a breath of fresh air for many of the dads to be able to participate in services specifically for them, designed to help them be a better dad, to be a better mate. And so we do have a lot of dads. We actually had a meetup a few weeks ago, and I was surprised at the number of dads that had come in. We had Daryl
I
Green
love it.
come in and talk to the guys about mental health. And so they were getting their blood pressure screenings before the meeting. And then they had the meetup that was focused on men's mental health. And the room was full. And I was so ecstatic. It was dads of all age. It was some younger dads, but it was some older dads in there as well. And they were happy to be there. And we were happy to have them. Also, our fatherhood engagement specialist is one of the facilitators for our parenting group. So we have had phenomenal dad attendance in the parenting group as well. And I do attribute that to the fact that it's not just a woman facilitator, but we
Mhm.
have both points of view. We have
Oh,
the
great.
fatherhood engagement specialist, and we have our director of case management and care coordination running that
I,
group.
I
Yeah.
love it. That's wonderful. Because most men, I know with my ex, it was like, okay, well, let me know when you finished. I'm trying to breastfeed, and it's like, okay, let me know when you finish. I said, why? This is a family thing, and
Right.
he couldn't wrap his head around that he needed to be there with that process. Right? That was a long
Yeah.
time ago, but
Right.
it was real for them. They didn't know how to do it, so it's really lovely to hear that we have young men that are or men that are being involved in this.
Yeah, we
It's
even have the simulator breast thing, right, for the breastfeeding education course. And so they actually do the simulation. And so it's really fun, but it just really involves them. We actually had a granddad come out to the breastfeeding education class before, which was like a first in history. And I was just like, wow, this is really wonderful. The young lady said her dad wanted to support her, and he came and joined the class as well. So
I love it. I
yeah.
love it. And that's what we all need. We need support, and we need it to come from our loved ones.
Absolutely.
It's nice
Absolutely.
having good friends and all of that, but we want the folks that are blood related to be part of
Absolutely.
this process. It's a
Absolutely.
lot
So
easier.
when we can engage them, we do. And when we can't, we try to create community with those who are willing to be engaged, so that
Nice.
they can support one another.
I love it.
Mhm.
Give us three things that you would say to a young mother that's she's pregnant and about to embark on this new journey.
I would say before you even get pregnant, act like you're pregnant so that your body can be in its best shape once you do get pregnant and start growing the baby. I would say tune into your supports. Don't isolate yourself. Look for programs like Baltimore Healthy Start, but also connect with family and friends who can support you. I feel like every mom should have at least one home visit once they have a baby. Nobody should be at home alone with a baby, and not have anyone come and visit. So tune into those supports. Don't be prideful. Don't be ashamed. Ask for help. If it's physical, if you notice something that's wrong, say it to the doctors. Don't be afraid to say it. Be vocal for yourself. You know yourself best, and take care of your physical health, your mental health, and your relationships if you can.
Lashelle, this is wonderful. Thank you so much for coming. And I want you to feel free to come on here whenever you want. Just call us up and we would love to have you. If you come up with an idea and you want to talk about it, we would love that. I think what you're doing is huge. And I did one and done. Girl, I couldn't do another one. I was like, okay, we're going to do this one. Okay, but I don't have the capacity. I didn't have the capacity to do that, right? And I had to acknowledge what I was going through. So
Well,
thank you
thank you,
so
Marsha.
very much.
Thank
And
you. I appreciate it.
we'll have to have you back,
Thank
please.
you. I appreciate it. But I
All
love
right.
Healthy Start. I love what we do for the families and the community and with the families and the community.
All right. Thank you very much,
Mhm.
Lashelle Stewart with
Mhm.
Healthy Start. We'll
Thank
be right back with our next guest. Thank you. Thank you. And we're going to be talking, Lashelle.
you. Okay.
Thank you. All right. Well, we have one more guest coming in, and I'll tell you, this is going to be great. We've got the ninth annual Polo and Jazz Celebrity Charity. So I think they'll be with us shortly. Welcome to WKIM, and I'm your host, Marcia Jews. And we have another guest coming up, and her name is Susan Smallwood, and she is here coming up to discuss polo and jazz Sunday, May 25th. And we are so excited. She's been doing this for several years, and it's the May 25th, Sunday, May 25th. And it is really going to be a lot of fun. I went before and it was just fabulous to see all these folks on the horses and everybody's dressed in their finery. It is just a blast. And this year it's going to be at the Baltimore Peninsula from 12 to 6. And I'll tell you, we are so excited. I can't believe Susan's done all this, and she just loves it. So this is coming up, and I know that what she does is not only the polo and jazz, but this woman has created her own line of caviar. And so she sets up a whole caviar bar, and the caviar is excellent. I'm a caviar lover. I love caviar, and Susan has just made up her mind that this is what we're going to do, and she has made it happen. I'm really proud of her, and this is the 9th annual polo and jazz, and it's going to be wonderful. So I hope you all are going to show up, because I know she's going to have a whole bunch of people there, and as she has every year. So this is the 9th annual. And I'll tell you, it was out in Virginia the last time. So here she's going to be coming in a few seconds so we can bring you on. And when she's ready, she's going to make a sound or do something so we can bring her on. But I'm really looking forward to this because it's so critical for us to do this. So we've got the signage up, and I think I see her. So I know that Katanya is here and is going to get us all set up, and I think we're ready. Hi, Susan.
Grand greetings, Marcia. How are you?
Girl, I am excited. I can't wait.
Yeah. Yay. Yay. Where's Lashelle?
I don't know. I thought I saw her. There she is.
Here I am. Hey, Susan.
I just got out of an interview. This is my 3rd interview today, y'all.
Wonderful.
Hold on.
That's wonderful.
I'll meet you there. Okay. Yeah, I'm on an interview. Okay. Yeah, so.
Well, we already know you multitask. We know you multitask, so we're clear.
I'm in my car now, but I'm trying to figure out why the sound, I can't hear the sound.
You can't hear me?
I mean, it's very low. It's not coming through my audio for some reason. Let me see. Well, just keep talking.
Let me see what's happening on here. It's full on now. Okay. So let's talk about the upcoming polo game. This is so exciting, Susan. What year is this?
This is the 9th year.
The 9th year. Can we talk about how you started this event and why it was so important?
Yes. So I start. Well, actually, Grandiosity events will be 10 years old this October. We're celebrating our 9th annual Polo and Jazz this month, Sunday, May 25th. The reason why I started it is to bring culture to the cultures through grand experiences with philanthropy. So we always have a beneficiary for on our platform during our Polo and Jazz, and this year is Baltimore Healthy Start. And beautiful Lashelle Stewart, who's the executive director, is who y'all were interviewing earlier today. And Lashelle was with me in studio in DC yesterday.
Wonderful. And I think it's so exciting because now we've got two women who are taking leadership in affecting change on so many different levels. And if I may be so quick, Susan, why did you decide that you wanted to bring in Lashelle's company? Why was that important for you?
Well, actually, Lashelle found me.
Outstanding. That's even better.
Yes, I was bold enough to approach Susan. I attended her Polo Jazz event for the first time last year, and it was a glorious event. I was so impressed. I thought it was so posh, and I thought this would be wonderful if she could do it to benefit Baltimore Healthy Start and bring attention to maternal and infant health. And I approached her at her event, and she was so kind, even though so much was going on. And she gave me her number, and I reached out the very next day and asked her, would she consider doing it for a maternal health organization, namely ourselves. And she read about us, and she said that she liked what we do and what we stand for. And she was on board to let us be the beneficiary for this year's event. And that's how it started. And I'm so glad. And I love Susan, and everything about her is grand. And we are so excited for this event on May 25th.
I know, because honey, she is grand.
She's
the
grand.
Queen.
Everything
I think what's so wonderful with Susan, I don't know what happened to her, but I'd love to have her here. Susan made up her mind that she was going to be what she wanted to be when she wanted to be it, and she didn't care what anybody else said, because we're going to make this happen. And I just want to know if I'm right or wrong. Susan said, I'm gonna get some horses.
The interview before this interview, so this is my third one. The first interview today, she said the same thing. Susan, you just don't care.
Period.
What happened is because when you've been through so much in life, you get to the point where you just don't care.
Period.
It's as simple as that.
Right. That part. And I think what it also means is that you draw people to you, because you can feel the spirit of the people that you bring to you. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, those people, such as Lashelle, those people want to be there. They want to be helpful, because there's a life-changing experience when you have people who are doing what they want to do. They're going to make it happen. And whatever y'all say, y'all deal with y'all stuff. But this is what we're going to do here. And here we got Black folks on horses and Black folks with the little thing on them. We call them little thing on the head.
Fascinators.
Yeah, the fascinators. I don't wear them. They get on I got to fall because I moved too fast. But I'll tell you what, my first experience at this Polo event, Susan, I just cried when I saw it. It was so powerful. For us to just we're going to step outside of the line. We're going to do what we need to do, and we're going to show you how to make it happen. You decided that you wanted the best that you will ever see. You didn't come half-stepping. You didn't have I'm scared. You did not. You just stepped into those big girl pants. Can we talk about the starting of Grandiosity?
Yes, yeah, that's very true. You know why? Because I don't know what's the word, like you got to do what you believe in. Mm-hmm. So this is a passion project. So that it's fuel to my fire to bring culture to the culture for people who love the grand experiences and the grand vibes and the grand energy. The feedback that I'm getting, and Marsha, we need to use your platform and everybody in Baltimore's platform to get these folks from Baltimore to come out and enjoy polo. People are like trying to say, oh, Baltimore, that's not their crowd. Well, polo was not the crowd for most Black and brown cultures. Caviar was not the crowd for, or the audience for, Black and brown cultures. We are now being part of that audience in that crowd. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
yes,
we have to dispel that myth about Baltimore. People giving Baltimore, I mean, this has been happening for years, of course, but even now, Baltimore Peninsula is a $5 billion complex. We are not producing polo on Greenmount Street. This is our Baltimore Peninsula. This is a beautiful backdrop overlooking the water. So a lot of the audience has not been to the Baltimore Peninsula. So that's why I'm letting them know, hey, it's home to Under Armour. This is a 235 acre space.
It's fabulous.
So Baltimore, what it is it's their own limitations of their mind. It's their intrepidation, and it is their own intimidation. That is what it is with people when they say certain things that, oh, well, that's to this and that's to that. No, it's for you. It is for us. It's that they have to get there to experience it, to understand it. Lashelle, was that your first polo event last year?
Yes, it was. And that's why I'm really excited for you to have chosen us as a beneficiary, because as you said, I think more people need to be exposed to it. I think once they are exposed to it, they will fall in love with it. And that's why we're trying to rally as many folks as we can to come and just experience this posh opportunity that will make you feel wonderful, but also benefit a great cause like Baltimore Healthy Start. I mean, Susan has her own Caviar brand. I mean, we did Caviar bumping at the event. And so these are the things that I want our community, and I want Baltimore to be able to experience.
I've been delivering Caviar today.
There's the Caviar.
I love it. I love it. Did you say you were delivering it today? You said you're delivering Caviar today?
Yeah, girl, I'm out in these streets slinging Caviar.
I love it. And I love your packaging. Fabulous, girl. We say we slinging it. Slick.
Personal delivery, LaGrande Caviar. Ooh la la.
Ooh la la. So we need to have an offline conversation about that. But I'm going to tell you something. You made a decision that you were going to do what you want to do.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
I said you made a decision a while ago, and I've known you for a couple of years, but you made a decision that you want to do what you were going to do in spite of anybody or anything, and you were going to roll it out of the way so that you can make it happen the way you want to make it happen. The point of it is that if we don't have a vision, it used to say, I don't know if it was a Bible or not, but it says, write the vision, make it plain. And you made it plain. You made it plain with two products. You said, okay, we're going to have the Polo and, oh, excuse me, I like Caviar. We're going to have our own brand. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. And so y'all can slang that doggone Caviar and ride them boats.
That's right.
Right?
That is exactly right. Ooh la la.
Ooh la la. So here's a question for you. When we go to the field, are you going to be selling the Caviar at the Polo event?
No, it's complimentary for the VIP.
Okay. All right.
But I got several kilos of LaGrande Caviar and the VIP, honey.
I bet you do.
Ooh la la.
Did we say kilos? We didn't say a little pint size. When we say kilo, that's what we're gonna do.
There's only plenty of caviar. We got a
love it.
lot of people in VIP. That's the thing, though. Lord Jesus, I hope the caviar lasts. There's a lot
I
of people.
love it. I love it. But you know what I love too, though? I think that, Susan, you just made a decision. When I first met you, you made a decision that you were going to do all these different things, and you did them, and you're doing them.
Mhm.
And not everybody can write the vision and make it plain, right? But we have to write the vision and make it plain in order to make it happen, because you can't get there from here if you don't. Give me three things that laid the foundation for you to create your company.
Okay, so I think I don't know if I think I told the story, but if not, I'm going to share it again.
Okay.
When I was in federal prison, and that's known because I put it out there. It's public information. They called me grandiose and haughty. I didn't even know what the words meant. And so while I was in, I said, "Oh, I'm going to name my business Grandiosity." And I initially thought I was going to have a furniture line because I love furniture and I love decorating. And then while I was in, I also said, I'm going to produce an event at the private jet hangar. So when I came home, the first two events were at Signature Flight Support Private Jet Hangar. So everything I told myself when I was in actually came to fruition when I came home. And it was like proving myself, because you know what it is? When people F with me, then my motto is, I have a lot of mottos, but my other motto is, I can show you grander than I can tell you, because they effed with me when I was in there. So when I came home, everything that I said in there, I became. So then now that I'm, I started the Polo platform, Polo and Jazz platform, I said, well, we need to elevate the grand experience with something else. And then voila, the Caviar came along. So my life really is, and I don't know, it's not that it's, what do you call it? It's not, it's a business plan where it's an ABC, you connect the dots. The way my life is so idiosyncratic, eccentric, and quirky, that it just goes with the flow with the universe. If the universe says, Susan, go ahead and go over here and do that, that's what I'm going to do. I just listen to the universe. I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it
So
does.
that's just how that's how I create what I've created.
Yes.
I go with the spirit talks to me and tells me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
If the spirit says don't do that or don't go over here, I'm not going to go. Spirit says go do this and go over there, I'm going to go there. So I go with the flow of the universe. I don't watch TV or news. I just flow and I go where I go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how my life has been. And my life has been more peaceful since I lived that way. When I was conforming to people, I wasn't peaceful.
Right.
And my nervous system was erratic. So I can talk about it now because now I know the difference of energy. Energy is real. So I only go where the energy is positive and flowing.
That's exactly right. And you know what, Susan, when I first met you, it was real clear you had taken time to think through your next steps. You didn't have this long range plan goal that's written out on 12,000 pieces of paper. You were able to go and look inside yourself and see the best that you could be and where can I take that. And watching you make all of this from the beginning of that, right, was powerful. Because everything you said and laid out, your vision, you saw the vision, you had the vision, you followed the vision, and here we are today doing what? Talking about
That is true, yeah. Everything that, and people are like, oh, this is your last year. Oh, I wish you the best. Well, whatever you touch turns to gold, which is true. Everything that I put my hands on, and if I put my passion and my heart in, it does turn to gold. I love what I do, but you know what? I have not stopped in 10 years. I have literally been going straight for 10 years. So it's like, well, that's why I've been putting out there. I want to get married, or, I want to retire, get married, but somebody come and rescue me, damn it. Not in shiny armor. I'm a little bit tired right now.
We have to talk about this off air.
So I love what I do. I'll be glad when this event happens. I'm meeting so many people. Like every day, my phone is ringing with new people that's connecting me with people. You know what's interesting, Marsha? Again, we got to use this platform because people are like, I never heard of this Polo and Jazz. I heard lovely things about it. Oh, I saw the pictures. It looks like a very posh, classy event. This is where I belong. Too many people have not heard about this platform. In 9 years, everybody should have already heard about this event.
Right.
You know,
Well,
we need everybody. We have people flying in from out the country. We have people flying in from multiple states. How is it people right here in the DMV never heard of it? So you know what? I'm on calls. People are like, Susan, what's going on? How come this event is so classy and upscale that people in the DMV, people have not heard of your event? People out of state are flying in for this event. So we got to get this word out on everybody's platform and everybody's ear to come out and support Baltimore Healthy Start.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. And we can have an offline conversation when you have some time. Give me a call. So as we're talking, my brain is like wrapping around. But with this type of program, there are a whole group of people that we need to be able to send stuff to. So the Polo event is coming up on the 25th of May. So if we put our boots to the ground and do what we're supposed to do, we'll be able to hit your goals and objectives. So maybe those are some offline conversations, but this is, I'll tell you, when I first went out there, I was like, oh my gosh, look at all the horses. Look at all this. I mean, the people were dressed. You had the tents, you had the seating, you had the tables, and everybody was fabulous. This is so powerful to have a Black woman to create this in the city of Baltimore. Girl, I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you because you have done the daggone thing and you didn't allow anything or anybody to get in your way. And I'm just proud to be a friend of yours. And you know, I'm always here for you, girl. I am always here for you. I'm so proud of you. And I've got to get me some caviar because that caviar is banging. But we want
Ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
Yay. I'm grateful for you, Marsha, because you've always been there supportive and you never turned your back on me rather. Before, during, and after, you've never turned your back. So thank you for being true blue, you, loyal and loving. And I'm grateful for that.
I'm just proud of you. And I just love you. And I don't be playing with that. You know, if you're my friend, you're going to be my friend for real. Because I don't be playing with all that little half in, half out. You either going to be in, all in, or keep it moving. Or keep it moving. That's
ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
All right. Wait. So okay. So it's 8:00.
How do we get?
This is my third interview, and my brain is on fire.
I know, but you got to tell us one more time. Is there an email or a number or something that we can call?
So go to GrandiosityEvents.com website for tickets and information on the event, or Eventbrite. So it's on both those platforms for tickets, and there's tables left. Tell your friends, please share with everyone. It's the week after Preakness, so there's no competition. Just get some rest after Preakness and get your energy back up for Polo and Jazz to benefit Baltimore Healthy Start.
Outstanding. And let's talk. Give me a call tomorrow or later on tonight. I want to just run some things by you. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, look at this. I love this picture. This is wonderful. What year was that, Susan?
That was last September.
We're live. Hey, we're at Polo and Jazz. This is our 8th year. We're at Hennessy Creek. Excuse me. We are Polo and Jazz, part of Grandiosity events, right? And it's our 8th year. We got a beautiful day. We probably had somewhere between 700 and 800 attendees today. So it was a huge success. We tell them about some of our sponsors that were on board today.
Yes, we're grandly grateful for our sponsors, the Green Technology Group, Daryl Green, CEO and founder, Transformation Health, Monica Bodie,
Arturo Fuente
World
Cigars.
famous cigar.
World famous cigars.
Oh my grandness.
James Oxley Realty Group. There's so many to list. Brody or
Monica Bodie, I already mentioned her. We had a grand time.
We had a grand time.
Yes.
It's been such
We
a
made
long
history today. 2 black polo teams.
Right.
Ooh la la.
Right?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so
thank
much.
you. The support. Next year we'll be making announcements for 2025.
Yay.
Outstanding.
Thank you,
Girl, I'm so proud
Marsha
of you.
and
I love it.
Lashelle.
I
Okay,
love it.
thank you. Take care. See you guys on
See
May
y'all. Have a
Thank you
grand
very much.
evening until the next interview.
All right. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready for the Polo event coming up on Sunday, May 25th, down in the Baltimore Peninsula. Hopefully, I'll be able to see you down there. It's going to be a blast. And thanks so much for Katanya Lester, who has made all this roll properly, because she knows I don't know what I'm doing and trying to make all that work. So thank you very much. Appreciate all of your time. And in the meantime, we're going to keep it moving and get ready for May 25th, the Polo Express. And I'm Marsha Jews, your host. Take care. Thank you.
Jama hani ango keleba